All right, good morning, guys. We've got a little quick video on the smart fence I've been working with. So, actually pretty pleased with it overall. The goats have managed to lock themselves out once, which for goats, from what I've seen thus far, is actually pretty reasonable. So, if they had as a herd managed to get back in, and I'd seen them out, that would be honestly more concerning. That means that the little ones in particular got used to being able to go under even a very short electric fence or through a short electric fence when they were younger. So let me just show you this setup here. So this is a little bit closer to what we're supposed to be doing. So what we've got here is tied off to a metal T-post from an existing semi-permanent line. And as you can see, there are 4 electric wires on this post. And those electric wires roll out on a reel through eye hooks that comes down the line here. So let's kind of head that direction and show you kind of the scope of what we're planning on doing. I've been testing this guy. I'm going to do a little bit longer before I make a final decision, but I think what I'd like to do is have this fence, you can see it going down the hillside in the background there. It curves okay, actually, even without the pull stakes. Those are really for like a sharp corner. Of course, if you're going the wrong direction to where you've got to pull a pull stake into where the animals will be walking, I don't find that to be as great of a system. And I've propped a couple of posts from the opposite side, or pulled them or propped them from you know, like an interior versus pulled them from the side where the animals will be on. But aside from that, it's been a nice fence. I'm thinking I'm gonna get one more, and what that will allow me to do is that will allow me to come out and set up the majority of most of these paddocks with one day, and then get the animals, you know, to come out and enjoy the fresh grass in one section of the paddock at a time. I can let them into the next section and not have to deal with the animals like trying to get to where the full field is if they aren't in the barn or they aren't up, which mostly that's when I try, but the goats this morning were not helping me out, not behaving with that. So the second one will catch them into the spot where they will be, and then I can pull it over to a corner and have it be like guide the animals down like a narrow passageway to the section field I want, and I can have it pre-set up, which right now I just have to rely on the animals either being cooperative, which is not always the case, or rely on the animals being in the barn, which again is not always the case. So this is one of the upper paddocks that I'm reclaiming from blackberries, and you can see, actually you can hear a little tick of that, running at full 7,000 amps. Can you hear that? Yeah, tick, tick. Yeah, so that's hitting a little bit on the grass, and that's fine if it touches a little contact. Still hitting full 7,000 plus amps on the reader, so that's good. But yeah, so this area is the center uphill paddock number 2. And you can see that last year this was just covered in blackberries. Truly, this whole entire section was covered in blackberries. So we flailed them once, and then got some fall growth of grass in here, and then following that fall growth of grass, we've got the animals in here a couple of rotations. So there's not hardly a leaf or a bud of a leaf on any of those now, and that's why, is because the goats prefer the blackberry leaf to grass. They are a brush animal more than they are a grazing animal, for sure, and that's what makes the goats so valuable. So this year I'm going to come up following each of these runs, and any of the older canes or living canes that I can see, I'm going to hit them with a blade trimmer that I've got set up. There's that cherry tree in the background way over there by the barn that was in that other video that's just so gorgeous right now. You can actually see throughout the valley, if you're in the valley, you can see just all kinds of cherries and early plum like blooms, man, it's early. I've got quite a few on the corners of the property and the edges. One or two things in the orchard that are about to, but nothing. I don't have anything that blooms that early intentionally, because the early bloom like that will lead to you losing fruit productivity because there's no pollinators. The bees aren't out yet. Even if it hits a 60-degree day, like, they might start to wake up, but that's what the temperature they're looking for. And so these 55-degree days have caused bloom, but we're so early. We're too early. So there's another one down there. I think this is a cherry that we have blooming down there. Let's see if you can see it on the hillside there. And then over there in the forest, you can probably just barely make out, there's some plums and cherries over there too. So yeah, this smart wire fence, I'm pleased with it so far. It is very expensive, so I will give you that. For 330 feet, 225 bucks, I think is what it was. But at the same time, setting up this fence with 4 wires, which is really mandatory for goats to even have a chance of keeping them in, which is a big part of my situation right now. And the amount of time it's saving me, I'd say totally worth it so far. So that's what I'm thinking, is I'm gonna get a second one and then be able to set them up and reel them through and move the animals through. I could run permanent, just further subdivide all of these fences up, but honestly the cost on that would exceed the cost of these 2 reel rolls, and long term that's not the solution I want to use. I'd rather the flexibility, and beyond that, just having the second reel is not going to cost me that much more. I'm already halfway there. So here is a look at the main component of the system. You can see that there's 4 reeled wires. I have it hooked in to the fence post, and then there's an electrical wire. Yes, and I'm well aware that that's a terrible job of tying off an electric wire. It doesn't matter, it's temporary, and the juice is all there. I've tested. So I've got a nice fence charger, and it pushes through all of what I'm using. And I've got quite a bit of footage on my electric fence, because in many places I have 4 wires, some I have 5, and then over there on the orchard I have some that I have like 7. That's my anti-deer fence. You can kind of see it going down the hillside in the background there. So yeah, there's a stopper on the reel to lock it, and that lets you reel the wires in, and then you loosen that, and then it spools them back out again. So it's a pretty slick system. I'll show you one more piece of it. So this bracket right here, you can see how the posts are clicked into it. See that? So that clicking into the posts, that enables the fencing to quickly, just push it down through the pole spot on the bottom, click it in, you're good to go, and grab more of your fence. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit of what was going on in the orchard right now, give you kind of a quick view of the valley. I'm trying to figure out what this one tree that's blooming right now is so early. I don't think it's a plum. We haven't seen fruit on it. The previous owner had said there was a quince on the hillside, so I'm wondering if that's this thing. It would explain a lot about, if it's blooming this early, why it never has fruit, because there's nothing to pollinate it this early. But I'll just give you a quick panorama, and then we'll call that video for the day. Hey, thanks guys for watching. If you've been enjoying what we're doing here, enjoying any of the parts, leave me comments about what you like, what you'd like to see more of. And obviously, like, very small channel right now, but eventually I'd like to grow this channel as we continue to work on the hillside, and give us some more exposure and enable us to create some more content over time. So if that's something that you feel is valuable, that we're giving you valuable content, and yeah, give us a subscribe, give us a like, share with your friends, spread word around, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a great day, guys.